feel like one day we should film this podcast upside down, kind of like the Delta Airlines perspective. You know, it's their style.
Upside down airplane episode.
Like hanging from ceiling episodes.
Is that what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there have been 86 incidents since January, which is insane. I think actually more now, as the days go on.
It's actually crazy. I saw a new one from Delta too.
Really?
I think from today, where the whole cabin was like filled with smoke.
Are you serious?
I swear.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with airplanes in general. Someone I know that works at Boeing mentioned something. He said that a lot of it has to do with who's on ground maintaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if production isn't ready for something, it's flyable, but doesn't necessarily mean it is ready and safe.
Plus, he scrapped
It's
the
too
whole,
rushed, I guess.
Yeah, and they scrapped the whole DEI stuff because I know that was a huge problem.
Yeah, and then I know the joke. You saw the women pilot stuff.
Oh, the one picture in the cabin?
Yeah.
And then the dude just flipped it upside down.
Yep.
Here's a more realistic look.
Yeah, it's so dumb, dude. Or like how they played the Delta Airlines commercial upside down.
I didn't see that one.
Are you serious?
No.
Dude, it was just like everyone was like, at Delta Airlines, but it's just flipped upside down. Like, yeah, people got creative with it. But that aside, I think it's just slightly worrying. Although a flight is still one of the safest methods of transportation and travel,
Mm-hmm.
it still is worrying, especially when you see these big brand names kind of out there failing.
Aren't most of the incidents that have occurred since 2025 small passenger planes? Because I know there were a couple gnarly ones.
Small passenger planes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's only been a couple like big name companies.
Yeah. From what I know, I think it's like 6 to 8 of them that were big companies or jumbo airlines, I guess. The big Boeings.
The 747s.
Yes, sir. Which is a shame. And what's funny is, going on that topic, the big Delta one, the one in Toronto, the one that flipped upside down.
Yeah.
First of all, miracle that everyone survived. That's insane.
Everyone survived.
Everyone survived on that flight. So it's like, okay, great. I'm glad to hear that. And then second of all, the funny move was obviously the big corporate move, which is let's pay everyone a good $30,000 so that we don't get sued, right? It took about a week, and then we got our first lawsuit, I think, as of today.
Well, I was saying it's non-contingent, right? So you can still sue.
Yeah. You still can sue, but in hopes that nobody was going to sue, I think nobody sued until today.
That's so funny.
One declined the $30,000 and then said, I'm going to sue you, and then sued them.
Wait, but non-contingent means that you can still take the money and sue. I think that's what he was pointing to when we were having this discussion.
Yes, but since everything's about principle, I think they still went and said, no. I stand by my point, no. And I'm going to go after more because this is traumatizing. I am now fearing for my life every time I'm traveling.
Like in many cases, I think the whole traumatizing thing is kind of bullshit. Like people say
Why?
they have emotional trauma when they're
Okay.
suing somebody else. But realistically, you have emotional trauma because some stupid case, you're trying to sue somebody,
Okay, a
right?
stupid case, but I don't think this is a stupid case.
No, this is a scenario where it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you almost died in a plane crash.
Yeah, you have zero control.
Yeah.
Okay? You hop on this fucking flight. You put your trust all into a pilot and a co-pilot.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all that's happening. This aircraft is now moving by them. They're controlling the thing. The fact that they suck that much to where, like, I don't know exactly what I mean, I know the conditions were obviously it's Toronto, so it's icy.
Mm-hmm.
But looking into it further, it seemed like there shouldn't have been a fault. Like it was something to do with the pilots that caused that to begin with.
Do you think they just came in too hot?
I mean, a plane is going to come in hot, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but for the weather conditions, like for the ground conditions. Or do you think it was just like there was so much ice that it was inevitable that something like that would happen?
I am no expert. I have no idea.
I thought
I'm
you were
gonna-
the aviation expert.
No. Maybe the GTA aviation expert. But no, I have no idea. It's just like it's all street talk at this point. All right, you're going through sources like Twitter, Reddit, and then statements from survivors.
Mhm.
So, and then you look out for what the company's saying, which obviously, who trusts anyone these days, right?
Yeah.
But for a big brand like Delta, you expect 100% safety, which is why it's insane. And I understand if it happens like once every 8 years, whatever, things are, at the end of the day, we're all human and these things are machines. So
Mhm.
something's bound to go wrong. There has to be a slim, very tiny, slim chance. And it's not the first time I think we've ever heard about a flight being disabled, a flight that just crashed, a flight going missing, whatever, right? Due to weather, malfunction, maintenance issues, whatever. Now, the 86 incidents, I don't think were all crashes. I think some of them were like fires,
You're right.
emergency landings, whatever. But it's building fear in people. I just talked to someone yesterday, an elderly man, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, we're selling the house, and I was there to do photo shoot to photo shoot the house and whatever, and then he just looks at me, he's like, yeah, you can't trust anything these days, you got to be careful out here. And I was like, what do you mean by that? Like, and then he's like, yeah, these flights. I was like, dude, this guy's spending time online. These flights are crashing. Can't trust that. I'm a frequent flyer too, man. And I can't just like be hopping on a flight and just fearing for my life now.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, but in my head, I was like, did that ever change? I mean, let's just say you took a 16-hour flight. That thing's just floating in the air
Yeah.
for 16 hours. I mean, it takes 30 seconds for something to happen.
I mean, it's a good question. I think that is it the fact that social media is like, or people are just focused on this topic right now, and so it's a hot topic, and so it makes it seem like there are more accidents.
There's a question that pops up in my head, which is like, is it the fact that we have cameras on site now, right? We all have phones, so we have access to video, and then we have in-flight Wi-Fi and all this cool stuff. We also have Starlink. So our access to the internet and uploading capabilities is like high up there now, unlike any other time. So that gives me the question: have airlines and companies been hiding incidents? Kind of like the Irvine company,
I wouldn't be surprised by that. You're hiding things from the news cycle
Yeah,
because ultimately you have stock to protect, and you want to make sure the
seats
business
to
is
fill
going.
and profit to be made and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, but I do think generally there is an uptick in these sort of like airfare incidents. And I know it's a case by case basis. Like there are some passenger planes that you just see that crash, even fighter jets, by the way.
yeah,
I've seen a couple fighter jet stories of them just like falling into the ocean or,
yeah.
or like hitting a mountain.
Bro, that Toronto video when the guy was like, "Holy crap! Oh my god! Oh my god! That just happened!" Whatever. There was a guy screaming at him, or someone was yelling at someone else, like one of the flight attendants.
Oh yeah, put
They
your
were
phone
like,
away.
"Put your phone away," and then someone in the comments was like, "Dude, if someone in that scenario starts telling me to put my phone away, I'm gonna start swinging, dude."
That makes no sense.
You have no control over me at this point. You know what just happened?
Yeah.
Like what? Put your phone away. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of my face, bro.
Yeah, like why is
We're
that
lucky
the
we're
first thing in
alive.
your mind?
Yeah.
I don't
You should be fearing for your life, man. What the hell's going on?
That was pretty crazy. The amount of video that we got on that one specifically.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I just like try to imagine myself in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Like your first thought is like, I'm not on this world. Like I don't know where I'm in dreamy land right now. This is weird,
Yeah.
Once you process everything, you're like, I feel like gratitude would just like rise. First off,
Mm-hmm.
like whoa, this is a huge wake up call for me surviving this, right?
And then the next thought is, how do I sue them?
compensation. I don't know. But that's the thing with like the whole trauma claim is this qualifies as big trauma.
100%.
What the hell? We were just 30,000 feet in the air, and now you're telling me that we crashed upside down and we all survived?
Yeah. You can make the trauma case for a lot of things that have to do with airplanes. Like if one engine goes out, sure.
Yeah.
Like that is traumatic.
Bro. That's the only time I've seen where it's like you could play that card.
Yeah, because there are a lot of legal cases where you call upon like the trauma thing,
Yeah.
and you might win it legally, but logically it doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
you're not traumatized by this.
Like the Coles manager yelling at you. Should
Exactly.
Yeah, you can. Why is that trauma?
Like you're just trying to get money.
Yeah.
That's all you're trying to do.
Are you that weak?
Are you that weak?
Crazy, man.
And then there was the other one, the more famous one, I think, with that American, was it American Airlines or Delta with the Black Hawk helicopter in DC? I think that was in Washington.
The Black Hawk. Oh, the colliding one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I can understand more because I think the person who was flying the Black Hawk only had like 500 hours of experience, and that's not a lot.
No.
Plus, you're flying at night, and those helicopters are notorious for being very difficult to operate.
Yeah.
And then I think there was also failure on air traffic control's part.
And then people are saying that it was done on purpose. I don't know.
There's a lot of conspiracies and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's over 1,000 hours that you need.
No, I think you need a minimum of 500. I could be wrong on this.
Yeah.
But the real seasoned veterans are like pretty much over that.
Yeah.
Like 1,500,
500
2,000.
hours and then probably miles as well.
Yeah.
You have to be clocking miles. Crazy. I wonder what it takes to really become a pilot.
Bro, have you seen cockpits?
They're insane.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, what am I looking
what
at?
button
Yeah.
do I press, dude?
Yeah. So how do you play music? Wait, that's a good question, actually. Do pilots play music in the cabin? Do they?
I would imagine not, because I would interfere with their job.
Bumping Shalou.
The JBL.
Yeah. Yeah, babe.
So funny.
Damn. Coming in hot. There's a lot of those with the flights, too. The JBL.
Elite. That one
So
video with the
dumb.
fighter jet bumping the JBL.
Yeah. All I hear was a hello. I forgot what the song is.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy times. I think everyone can probably agree on. You do have the option of living in a bubble and just being like, wow, that's crazy, and then just moving on, which a lot of us do have. I mean, myself as well. Sometimes you get so fixated on your daily life that you're just like, all this sounds like just news, just like whatever. It doesn't really interrupt my day, but it's just I got things to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too much
get
if you
so
take on
fixated.
that info.
Yeah.
There's too much.
Yeah.
Your brain can only handle so much.
It's too much. And then all of a sudden it's like 8 p.m. and you're like, damn, I skipped dinner. What do I do? Zay's gonna be pissed because I'm breaking the past 7 p.m. rule.
Not the circadian, unfriendly.
I see you eating out here, boy.
There was a time I remember, I think it was when I went to Chicago with Kara and Enzo. And it was like at the peak of when these flights were starting to have issues. And I was concerned. I didn't want to be on a plane. Because imagine, of all the ways to die or get seriously injured, you choose to go on a plane when there are, statistically higher set of incidents that involve planes.
But you know me, I'm a believer in when it's your time, it's your time. It's kind of like, and then the rest of it is a part of your journey or story. So it's kind of like, whatever happens to you is going to happen to you, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
We can walk out of here and then you get hit by a car. I don't know. You can...
Or a fighter jet.
You can sleep and never wake up. You don't know. Like...
You slip, hit your head, and die.
Yeah. Never know.
There are people who've died that way.
Crazy.
It's kind of messed up to think about, but...
Yeah. I think one of the worst is witnessing yourself slowly die. So, like, for example, you slip and fall, you get concussed, you break a hip. Right? You get a hip replacement, suddenly you get sick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're sick for a while and it's miserable and whatever, and your body's weaker, and then you wake up one day, you feel fine, the sickness goes away, and then the second sickness comes, and then you're even more in pain, and then this time the sickness doesn't go away, and then you slowly die, and then you die one day, and then you're like, what the hell happened? All I did was fall.
Is that what you're thinking after you die?
No, I'm
That's a
thinking.
good
I'm
question.
thinking right now.
No, I know, but that's a good question.
Why the afterlife? In the afterlife,
Are you having a thought about your death?
How am I supposed to know? I don't know what
I'm just entertaining the idea.
I have no idea, dude. I don't know. Like,
Like, whoa, dude, that was pretty crazy.
yeah, I'm just out there like, yo, that was, yo, what are you doing? Leave my body alone.
Yeah,
No.
but it happens, especially with older people. They're not strong enough, and then they slip and break a hip and
Yeah.
have an infection. 6 months later, they're dead.
Yeah. The craziest one to me, which I've mentioned before in the past, which is someone dying and you grieving so hard that you end up dying too.
Oof. Like a couple that's been together for 50 years.
Nah, like
That's a real thing.
a
That
huge-
happens a lot.
yeah, that's a crazy bond.
Damn.
Insane.
My wife died and
Yeah.
just don't have anything to live for.
I can no longer live. Like, and you believe that so wholeheartedly that you die. Your body just gives up.
Like, what is the mechanism behind that? How?
I don't know.
Because objectively, like, the other person could be so healthy, but they just die.
Yeah. And I've heard that multiple times.
Is that what they mean by heartbreak?
Maybe.
That's literally what they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The breaking of the heart. But like, I don't know. Heartbreak can also be like not death. You know, you just have
course, yeah.
you have an aching heart, which isn't like the heart that pumps blood, but it's just like the soul
Yeah.
stuck in the center, you know, that we call the heart. Nuts, man. Yeah.
Hmm.
Who knows? Who knows if they're hiding something? Who knows if they're legit concerned themselves? And I hope they're not concerned just because there's a lawsuit now.
That's a valid point.
You know? They're like, damn it, they caught us. Like,
I don't think there's any conspiracies behind it. I just think that's what happens when you start implementing DEI and you start hiring idiots because of their like gender or skin color,
yeah,
as opposed to people who are actually good at doing what they do in relation to aviation.
yeah. I mean, has that been proven?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're hiring people who have nothing to do with the job. Like, they just don't have any skill set in relation to the
Yeah.
job. And they end up wasting money. Again, this is the point or the problem with hiring people based off of their gender or ethnicity as opposed to their merit, like their skill level.
Mm.
Like, that's a real thing that has been proven.
I wish we can go back to that, to where it's like skilled individuals.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant go back to DEI.
No. Go back to hiring strictly based off of performance and skill and experience.
Well, we are going back to it.
Slowly.
Yeah, a lot of companies are starting to get rid of DEI.
Yeah.
Ironically, diversity, equity, and inclusion
Yeah.
is exclusive, or no, it, how am I putting this? It achieves the opposite outcome of what it states. So instead of diversity, you're removing diversity.
Mm.
Instead of inclusion, you're excluding people because of certain aspects of their character and personality and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, and it doesn't strictly have to be like. I mean, to anyone that's listening, I think it's not strictly. We desire not hiring because of gender, race, background. It's strictly like if that gender, race, or background is qualified, skilled enough, exactly matches what they're looking for, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's the problem. People like Martin Luther King, they didn't see the color of somebody's skin. They only saw the character and like what the value behind the basic appearance is.
yeah.
It's interesting.
People need to be taking Bottea Superba, man. That's for sure. If you guys have not been taking any based supplement, you guys are missing out on all the energy. Like today, I'm tired. I'm brain fogged, and I feel like my body isn't dead though. Like I have this energy still, and this is thanks to Shilajit.
And based.
Yeah, the
supplements
based
in general.
Shilajit. The cool thing about based is that they're actually sourced from the best. So unlike any other Shilajit company, this is probably the cleanest. Now,
Yeah.
we do have a code for you guys if you guys are interested, but they sell cool things like this travel Shilajit, which is more of a, what is it, syrup, I guess?
No, it's a resin.
It's a resin?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a resin.
It'd be concerning if it came out like a syrup.
Yeah.
Well, because there are a lot of bad actors in
Yeah.
the Shilajit space.
I
Like,
got
people
you.
are just BSing.
So, yeah, resin, which I guess comes out like a clumpy honey when you pour it into something.
Very sticky.
Yeah, super sticky. If you don't like that, they also have the tablet version, which is
It's my favorite part
it's a
of it.
solidified version of this.
No.
My favorite, which can be a crazy problem depending on your lifestyle, Bottea Superba.
A real problem.
Bottea Superba will drive your aggression to the ceiling, and you'll start arguing with people. And
As Saeed has noticed in me.
yeah. But your T levels are at an ultimate high just after a couple of weeks, which is insane. And this has been proven over and over again through trial and studies.
Yes.
Yeah, so go ahead and check them out. Use code 2AM at basedsupplements.com.
Speaking of, we haven't mentioned the other sponsors too.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, we have Extra,
Extra?
code 2AM,
Yeah.
same deal, but I mean, if you just want to
Dude.
outperform everybody in the aesthetics department,
100%.
the nicest bag, the nicest wallet.
Yeah, we saw the first wallet in the wild the other day, an Extra wallet.
Oh, did you?
Someone had one, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Damn.
It's a really sleek looking wallet, and it comes with a tracker. That's what's awesome about it. So if you ever lose it, you can find it on Find My iPhone. And they have many other accessories like our favorite travel goodies, which are the power banks, the duffel bag, and the grid backpack. Those are essential to my gear and my clothes.
Clothes.
Yeah, use code 2AM at extra.com for that as well.
Yeah. And I know we put Rarebird on the back burner for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're still trying to finalize their affiliate stuff and whatnot. But in the meantime, we've got ButcherBox.
Oh, yeah.
Highest quality meats, grass-fed, grass-finished. The best chicken, the best fish, the
You
best
can't go wrong.
beef, pork if you go down that route.
The best part is you've already pre-selected your subscription.
Yeah.
So what you could do, you can always alter it, but what you could do is you set it, you know that you now have meat for dinner. Comes straight to your door, very convenient, which is amazing, for a solid price too.
Mm-hmm.
Love
I
it.
think it's code 2AM podcast for that.
Yep. Go ahead and check any of them out to support us.
Yes.
Yeah. But moving on from that, I know we talked a little bit about Based here, because I love this, for real. Yeah, there's a someone was discussing something with me, and we were talking about things that we can all agree on, whether you are religious, non-religious, don't believe in anything at all. And it's just like a common thing that every human being has inside of him that can recognize as bad or wrong, which is lying. And I was like, that's a very interesting speculation, and it's correct. Fully correct.
Like everyone knows that lying is bad.
Think about it. I mean, I could be the head of a company. I could be a regular guy in a family. I could be nobody. I could be homeless. I can be a doctor. I could be a mob head. I could be a gangster. Guess what? Would any of these people like to be lied to?
No.
Hell no.
As a matter of fact, there are codes, social codes, to avoid lying.
As one community, which is the human community.
Yeah. And there are various punishments as well.
That is very similar.
Like if you're a doctor who lies,
Yeah.
the board's going to axe you. If you're somebody who's related to a mob boss who lies, you're probably going to get your head chopped off. It's interesting.
So that to me already is kind of proving that we do all have sort of the same moral guideline, no matter where you come from.
Hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
For the most
I
part,
was,
yeah.
I was thinking about it. No, not for the most part. Fully. Like, I can't think of anyone that would like to be lied to. There's consequences to it every single
I don't
time.
know. There might be some freaks out there, bro.
Yeah, lie to me, baby. But
Maybe.
no, there's no way. There's no way. That's just something every person is born with. There's like the whole point of this conversation was the topic was that everybody is born with the innate same thing internally. In terms of how we were created and whatever, everyone's gonna have like some disagreement somewhere.
Yeah, it's like religion versus evolutionary biology.
Yeah. So claiming those as facts, everyone's gonna have their own fact, right? And then, but if you really study it, especially from like a philosophy point of view, you start to see like there are some similarities that maybe I can't even word. I can't put into words or explain realistically. But when I heard this about the lies, it kind of put me on a train of thought of what other things do we have that are similar as humans, no matter the race, background, religious faith, etc.
In terms of just social interactions. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well,
Because there's a lot of things that we share in common, but things related
in terms of like there are things, right? For the most part, everyone that I know, everyone that you know, like mom is half off limits, right?
Okay, yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
The social contracts
Yeah.
of what to do and what not to do.
Well, I think it goes beyond social contracts. It's more like being contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Like you as a human being, there are certain things that everybody has a limit to that we all do. You know, what is another thing? All humans can be jealous.
Mm-hmm. Never talk to your friend's girl behind their back.
Yeah, so that's like
There are like inappropriate and appropriate lines, and you don't cross certain inappropriate lines.
some people are just bad. They're just bad people, so they'll do that. You know, knowing. And then it drives a question of like guilt. Like, are we supposed to sense guilt?
Mm.
Is guilt all the time bad? Is it good? It's good in some, like I believe it's good in some instances or situations, because you feel something, obviously.
Yeah.
I think when you totally don't feel shit, that's when you're
You're a psychopath.
You're a psychopath. You're done. Like I don't even know if you can come back from that. But the whole point of this is that I'm sick of people fighting over like faith, background. We just hate a certain group. You know, just because they're idiots. They believe in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about Shia Sunni. That's a big one, right? Where people are like, yeah, these guys are going to hell, and then they say these guys are going to hell. So it's just like, why?
It's a
Why can't we
theme
just-
older than time.
Just agree to disagree. You know, you can personally be like, I think they're idiots, but you don't have to like go and be like, all right, I'm gonna start hating the shit out of them.
Yeah. It's too excessive.
So like, why can't we just relate as like person to person instead of being like, oh, I know his background, he knows my background. Let's just like keep this hate person to person.
I don't know.
like-
I feel like a lot of people do though.
I don't know.
They can see past a lot of that stuff, But then there are just other people who are just so deep into it.
Yeah, but then it's kind of like the whole car situation. You put a door, a windshield, and a bunch of glass in a can, right? And you're driving, and suddenly like you start doing things you wouldn't do if we were all in one room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start being aggressive, cutting people off, like cursing at people,
Yeah.
cutting it, like it's weird. You know, it's weird behavior because I guarantee you, if we were in line somewhere, this wouldn't be happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have some internal feelings, but that's about it. You know, and then the bravest would probably step up and be like, "Yo, like, what's good?" You know, whatever. And like, let's just say we were on that Delta airline and it crashed. Okay, and then two people survived, and it was like a Sunni and a Shia, right?
Somehow.
And you guys crashed in Iceland in the middle of nowhere. What are you guys gonna do? Are you guys gonna work together, or are you just gonna keep the hate?
I think they'd work together.
Exactly, because
There's a bigger event going
so that
on.
means everyone has the capacity to be like, we're just two humans trying to figure this out now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it has nothing to do with who's Allah and whatnot. You know? So
What's worse in terms of, I guess, getting the worst out of people from an argument standpoint, religion or politics? I think right now it's
What's
actually
worse?
politics. Yeah. Like what conversation is most likely to get people pissed and start arguing, like a serious argument?
Good question.
I do feel like it's
They're
politics.
similar because religion does have some politics too, especially these days.
Yeah, but I feel like religion is more dear to people's hearts. Right? So I guess they understand that, okay, let's tread a little bit more carefully when we're talking about this because it's just more dear to their heart than politics.
I feel like politics probably gets more heated because it's not striking as much of a sensitive belief like religion is. You know, everyone comes in levels. And I think if you have a high level in your religion, in belief, then they're almost guaranteed to be slightly more emotional, or they'll have a faster breaking point
Mhm.
than in the politics discussion or argument.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Like if you hear the word God
Yeah.
in any conversation in this day and age, do you feel like that's going to cause some sort of division?
No.
Like, generally not, no.
No, because I'll tell you why. I was on the freeway the other day, a little story, and I was in traffic. I'm just like bored, dude. So I just keep looking like right and left, and I'm just like browsing around. And then on the freeway, there was a church nearby, and then it had a sign that said "Prayer changes things,"
Mm.
and I was like, that is a universally good thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it came from a Christian church, right, or a cathedral, or a mosque. It's a positive thing. So it's like I just go, yeah, you know that's right. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, no, but I don't like the source.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Like what?
Now, if you say the word Trump in society in this day and age,
Yeah.
you're going to get a massive different, you're going to get a huge swath of either positive or negative
Yeah.
reactions.
Or you could say Musk. It's the same thing.
Or Musk, sure.
Did you see that post where it was like President Musk and President Trump working late at the White House? And it's just Musk on the desk, and he's just looking at Trump, and Trump is vacuuming. I was like, damn, this would trigger a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's politics these days. So that's more triggering than.
I don't know. My evaluation is, how is my personal life at the end of the day? Okay, I think of questions like, what am I on this earth to do? And how can I do it best with the circumstances I am given? And I do understand, like, at certain points, you do have to step up and kind of, like, play a part in society to change things, whether it's changing a law, going against something. I think the older you get, the more you slightly get into politics, or you should at least know what's going on,
Sure.
right? Does that mean that I should argue with everybody because they go against my view? No. I think I also play a part in receiving what they think and why they think that. You have to judge it based off of like, okay, how were they raised? What's his family orientation? What is his honor system?
Mm-hmm.
What business does he do? Is he an employee somewhere? What company? What industry? What does his daily life look like? What does he do as hobbies? Stuff like that. And then you might get an understanding of why they might think that way.
Yeah.
What's to them, what is a benefit? And then to me, what is a benefit? Like they're all different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then just because we get along with someone because of humor or whatever doesn't mean that they're a huge, horrible, disgusting person because they believe XYZ where I believe ZYX.
Yeah, but it's stupid
You know?
because a lot of people think that way. If you say anything positive about a given subject, they will automatically box you into this type of character or archetype, and then they'll just run with that.
Well, because most people don't know how to go about things, I think.
It's a valid point.
Like someone can speak into a tone where I don't like it, right? But in that context, they might just be passionate about it. So then I gotta turn on my brain and be like understanding to them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Be like, yeah, I disagree, but like his tone maybe makes sense because he's just like he's fuming on the inside. Maybe he doesn't have as much control as I do. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. But not just be like, oh, he's yelling at me, so I'm gonna yell back. Like,
Very caveman-like, sir.
yeah. Where are they? You know? It's just so dumb. It's a everyone has that childlike mechanism in them where that can come out depending on what the hell you're talking about. But I think a lot of it has to do on the receiving end. And then you would love if they received the way that you did. But then, unfortunately, they don't. Maybe they have a lot to work on in that regard. We're not saying that their information is incorrect. But it's like, am I correct? Remember how we were talking about this? You always have to have the question of like, am I even correct? Why do I believe this so hard? Is it because I want to believe that?
Yeah, well, I mean, entering a conversation with am I correct or am I wrong, I think that's probably the wrong starting place. Like, you shouldn't be thinking about that. Because then you're just going to try to confirm what you believe and ignore what the other person is saying, and vice versa.
No, but this is before the argument. Like you should already be solid in terms of like why you believe what you believe. So when these things happen, you stand by correct, you know, stand by your own statements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? Kind of like who was making the argument yesterday? Nicotine makes you the most retarded person that is low IQ and like all the stuff.
Sure.
It's just like, okay, the way we're trained is that we're going to go, okay, there's no evidence towards that. I mean, some of the smartest people in the world have some nicotine. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most successful people in the world have nicotine. Can it make you? Yeah, it can. I don't see why not, you know?
It's just a bravado stance, to be honest. It's an Andrew Tate stance.
Exactly. So it's like, it's kind of like one of those things where, oh, my dad told me that this is how it is, and this is what I've believed my entire life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're not standing by, you're not as open-minded to doing things. You're just going by, like, this blanket-ass statement of, oh, this is bad, this makes you stupid, this is the difference between stupid people and smart people.
Yeah, it's like saying nicotine has no health benefits whatsoever.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, it makes some sense, but like I see from my understanding point of view, it's just like that has to have come from somewhere. It's like now I'm trying to pick out where did it come from, rather than like telling him he's wrong or you're correct on some points.
You're objectively incorrect.
Yeah. So I just feel like arguing goes nowhere unless it's a big deal that's supposed to be shifting something morally, like in a huge society. You know, like Israel, Palestine. Like those things there should be discussions and arguments being held as to what is going on. Because in things like that, there's usually one truth.
Well, we have to differentiate between a discussion and an argument, though.
Yeah, but an argument means you've just prepared an argument to a statement that's coming towards you. That means you listen to a statement, and then you either pull up their contradictions, or you agree on certain points.
But I don't think that's how most people think of the word argument.
Well, that's why there's
They think of a shouting match.
yeah, arguing.
I lay forth my argument.
Yeah.
Classy.
Arguing is like it's a practice. It
The
really
word
is.
debate is probably better.
Yep. When you're
Yeah.
debating someone, there's arguments coming to support whatever they believe in and to show contradictions and falsehood on their side,
Yeah.
and then vice versa, right? And then there's agreeing points too. So, unfortunately, humans have this thing where we can get emotional and attached to certain ideas and things and beliefs. So an argument does turn into a shouting match, and then like an insulting like back and forth, which is like
I think it makes sense when you. So I don't know the technical definition of a paradigm, but I do know that a paradigm is basically like a set of really strong beliefs that are held in the mind. So it's like layering beliefs onto one another that create the ultimate paradigm, right? Think of it like a bubble or an interconnected, I guess, web of beliefs that create the paradigm. And so I guess the question to ask is, what is the paradigm designed to do? And in my mind, what I immediately think about is preserve the ego. The entire reason why you have a paradigm is to preserve the survival or safety of the ego.
yeah,
And so if you break the paradigm, you literally break the ego. So you literally cause what people would feel like is death to who they are. And so I think that's why people get into it so hard.
yeah.
That's why you often don't get anywhere.
They got to live up to who they've been for so long, like in
Yeah.
that regard. Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
It is. I mean, going down the Alan Watts rabbit hole, the question is, are you your ego?
100%. The taboo against knowing who you are, man.
But even the word I.
Yeah.
Like that's
What is
the-
I? Yeah.
Yeah. I think eventually
am
if you sit with that, you'll realize that you're not actually
Yeah.
that.
I mean, if your body is a rental, then who are you? You're more than just this.
In order to think all that.
Yeah. A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts.
Bingo.
So he loses touch with reality. Yeah.
Just want to take a
So
sip of
so
coffee.
it's like, what is I? And what is reality?
Mm-hmm.
Reality is not everything going on all at once. I think reality is your mission as a person.
What is it? If you think about it, that's just an idea.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But is that
So it's
reality?
like if you move along in your mission, reality soon collides with many other routes. And then through that route, if people, let's just say 400 million people decided to start their mission and then they didn't stop and we're all moving, we're bound to collide with at least hundreds of those 400 million. I may not meet some of these people, but eventually, at the end of your lifetime, when it's all over, that was your reality. Okay, like we could grieve about a plane crash where everybody died.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somewhere across the world. But again, going back to the beginning, isn't your reality just your daily life?
That's what I'm trying to point to. It's the felt experience of the
That
present
certain
moment.
individual. You can't force people to feel what you're feeling. Some people just won't get the context. They won't get enough of being in the shoe to be like, I fully understand what you're going through. Most people, if you complain about something that happened to specifically you, they're going to try using their own experiences to get on that level of either grief, happiness, sadness, depression, anger, to match and console, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why, like, it's so crazy to me. I mean, this is just a freaking broad ass topic. We can dive into any of these chapters, but one thing is when you relate to someone, like let's just say, like your father passed away. You meet someone where their father passed away at like the same age that you did. You just instantly feel like, damn, I relate to this guy. Like I know exactly what he went through, like all the stuff. You feel like,
Even if it's a complete opposite experience,
exactly.
for sure.
But the same thing happened. So you're just like, damn, I feel like linking with this person. Like I link with him somehow. Yeah, it just goes to show like the way we are wired is strange. And then what determines reality is also strange. Because it's in the lens of who you are.
Yeah, it's stranger
And then
than fiction.
with many similarities that humans have, regardless of faith, religion, and different backgrounds, there are things we can all agree on.
Like what?
Like the first thing that I said. Lying is betrayal. It's backstabbing. From many different backgrounds.
Well, psychopaths don't think that.
What do you mean? Being lied to is what I'm saying. Psychopaths? Are you kidding me?
Would psychopaths feel bad if they were being lied to?
Some people turn psychopaths because they were lied to.
Well, but I mean like a classical, like a true psychopath. Because psychopathy, I think, is characterized by the inability to feel normal human emotion. So like for 99% of us, 100%, we don't want to be lied to.
I don't know. Dahmer didn't like being lied to. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's hard to answer.
Yeah, it is hard to answer, but it's something that is, it's like food for thought. And I feel like everyone should kind of like reflect on that because it's, it broadens the mind in a way. Like you're like, like what similarities do we have where that we don't fight on? You know?
Is there a food all human beings like objectively?
Is there what?
Is there a food that all human beings like objectively? Like, do we, as human beings, do we all love honey?
No.
See, some people hate honey. Ice cream. No.
Food? I mean, the closest you'll get is probably like bread.
Not everyone likes bread.
I know, but that's the closest thing you'll get.
Bread and butter.
I don't know about bread and butter. It was just bread. Like water.
I don't know. Some people hate water, bro.
You will not live if you don't have water.
They have to drink it.
Exactly.
But
I'm not talking about
like
liking. I'm talking about what is a similarity between all humans.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we all have melanin. We all drink water. We need water. We need food. There's a lot.
Yeah.
We all listen to the 2 a.m. podcast.
There's a law somewhere. I want to dive more into this topic, but yeah.
He's going to call it the law of Said.
Yeah, anyway, I think this is a wrap, but I think whoever's listening needs to kind of we should all reflect on this. That's what I'd like for our community to do here. Kind of think of something. If you think of anything, let us know. You can either comment or send us a DM. That'd be cool.
Send us a thought.
Yeah. A food.
I tried to look over to the side because the camera's usually there.
Yeah.
But now it's right there.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. But yeah, if you found any use out of this episode, please follow the 2 a.m. podcast on all social media platforms or whatever you desire. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. We're available on YouTube at the 2 a.m. podcast. We're also available on X at 2 a.m. pod. To support us, hit any of the links in the description and use code 2 a.m. for both, except for ButcherBox. That one is 2 a.m. podcast, all caps. Thank you once again, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Later.